Hydrogen-powered aircraft represent the next frontier in sustainable air travel, using hydrogen fuel cell systems instead of traditional jets producing only water vapor as exhaust. Cryogenic hydrogen storage and delivery system enables zero-emission flight for a 100-passenger hybrid electric aircraft by storing liquid hydrogen at negative 250 degrees Celsius and managing hydrogen flow without pumps. What do you think about this advanced hydrogen aircraft?
So I like this. So we've covered hydrogen hybrid aircrafts in the past. And so the innovation here is that they're not only using it for turbine-driven superconducting generators, but they've enabled the hydrogen to be able to transfer safely throughout the aircraft to be used also as a coolant for critical power electronics and motors during all phases of flight. So this is cool because it's got a dual use of hydrogen, both as a fuel and a cooling agent, which addresses the major engineering challenge of managing the intensity generated by high power electric propulsion system. I think that this is great. I think so. The one thing obviously that still scares me is the storage temperature. I know we've covered the ability to store at higher temperatures nowadays. But I'm curious as to that maybe it's just the technology is too big for aircraft. I don't know. But this is cool. This is a great next step for aviation. I feel like, again, there's been a lot of articles lately that are sidestepping hydrogen and saying it's not the fuel of the future, but I still think it is. I still think there's a lot of potential. What do you think about this, Craig?
Well, this hybrid system supports the power demands of 16.2 megawatts and delivers hydrogen at 0.25 kilograms per second, with hydrogen offering 3 times the energy density per kilogram compared to jet fuel, making it definitely more, you can carry more, or will make the weight of the aircraft less, depending on how you want to do it, and have more energy. Though it takes up more space just because of how it is, it has less weight. Now, the problem has always been that hydrogen takes more energy to produce than it puts out.
Yeah.
So it's always been a negative sum game, which is why people shy away from it. Now we have storage issues, but we have hydrogen cars out there now. Things are running. I haven't really heard a lot of negativity about the users of hydrogen in vehicles and aircrafts and other things. So down the road, we got to wonder, why is there a huge negativity to hydrogen? Is it just because, it really takes more energy? So hydrogen, great. That is awesome that it's when you have it in that state. But if you need to burn carbon fuel to get there, then what's the point?
Well, yeah. So again, I think the people who are being negative are either the oil and gas industry putting out misinformation, again, conspiracy theorists, whatever, or it's people that don't have an understanding of the technology that's being developed. So we've covered a lot of this stuff. If the technology that we've covered, becomes commercialized, I feel like then the cost will drop dramatically and it'll be more viable as a fuel. What are your thoughts? Do you remember the stuff we covered, and can you say something?
We covered a lot of stuff on the creation of hydrogen. The price is going down. I remember putting titanium and chrome in certain things really made the cost of building the things that make hydrogen. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I'm sure you'll come up with it. There's the process of electrolysis, or
yeah,
that pulls it out. There's a lot of ways to doing this, and the only real way to make this green is using solar, wind, or other to generate it during off things. So we need a lot of peak through that. So the thought process was off-hour usage for these to store it. But now we sit back, and there are other potential storage systems or creation systems.
Yeah.
We've seen the CO2 battery. We've seen so many different types of batteries and storage systems. So I think the case becomes, are those technologies going to surpass this or not? And the one technology that seemed to be really interesting was the supercapacitors we talked about a few weeks ago, where it can maintain the charge, can expel fast, charge within seconds or minutes to full charge, not hours. It can be recycled hundreds of thousands of times or millions of times rather than, what traditionals are. And I think we're going to see something more in that direction than this. I love the idea that it's free, and we talk free, that it's emission free. And we talked briefly about, the future possibility of if we're going to have solar on the houses, and we're going to have concrete that generates electricity, and we're going to have all these things. We will at some point have houses that have surplus energy at certain times. And why wouldn't we have that where we have an electrolysis machine or what have you creating the hydrogen in our home and be able to pull out those bottles or whatever you want to call it, canisters that we can plug into devices and use hydrogen to power our cars, to power our bikes, to power whatever. So yeah, the future looks potential, but we have to understand that hydrogen and oxygen don't mix. And that when that happens, boom. What makes this a pump-free operation? A pump-free design uses tank pressure control and a controlled gas injection to move hydrogen without mechanical pumps. This eliminates weight from the pump system and reduces heat generation, as documented by the NASA Integration Zero-Emission program. And they use the cooling of the coldness of the hydrogen to help cool everything. And so it's amazing. I really like this system and what's happening. So I like where it's headed. I'm just not 100% sure if hydrogen is the future or not, because we just don't know. And
we don't.
I like where it's going. We've seen things like Walmart is buying a fleet in Ontario, thousands of them. We're seeing them all over the place. We're going to start to have to create the pumping stations and stuff everywhere. And when you have the pumping stations, the gas stations, whatever, the hydrogen stations, your car, that'll start driving hydrogen sales. Because I looked in GTA, there's like two. There's one in Mississauga and one somewhere else where you can actually, fill up your car. So if that's the case, no one's buying. No. So you need the distribution systems where people can fill up their car. And when that happens, you'll start to see cars using that fuel.
Well, the car manufacturer to develop cars, I think BMW has put a pause on their hydrogen manufacturing. And then who was the other one? Was it Toyota as well? I haven't heard much about them. So,
the problem is, again, if there's no pumping stations around, then that infrastructure doesn't support the driver. Those cars aren't being sold. They just aren't. And that's, who can say it needs to manufacture car vehicles. The manufacturers have cars, but they can't sell them because there's not enough pumping stations around for people to fill them up.
Yeah.
So there's some in BC and there's some in LA and there's some distributed. They're just not enough.
Yeah.
So let us know what you think. You think hydrogen's the future, and you think this hydrogen power aircraft is going to revolutionize aviation with zero emissions, or we're going to see something else? I do like the idea of aircraft not polluting the atmosphere above us more than, say, a hydrogen related car, but that's just me.
Will this eliminate the chemtrail conspiracy theorists, maybe?
Well, if you still see chemtrails, then it will confirm rather than. But anyway, we'd love to hear your thoughts on the future of hydrogen and aircraft. Let us know what you.
Tired of drowning in repetitive tasks while your competitors race ahead? Every minute you spend on manual data entry, scheduling, and routine processes is a minute you're not growing your business. Flowgrammer.ca transforms your workflow chaos into seamless automation. We build AI-powered systems that handle your busy work so you can focus on what actually makes you money. Our clients typically save 15 plus hours per week and see their productivity double within 60 days. Visit flowgrammer.ca for a free automation audit. That's flowgrammer.ca. Stop working in your business and start working on it.
So what do you got going on, John?
Yeah, no, just working on a couple things with some partners. So have a look out for that coming up. But just helping companies secure government funding. So depending on when this comes out, there could be some programs open. Just have a look at my LinkedIn or reach out to me on LinkedIn. But if they need help with everything else with their business, how do they find you, Craig? What do they do?
Well, head over to torontostarts.com. You'll find all our events and many of our stuff over there. If you're looking for help getting your business moving, looking for coaching, looking for workshops and events related to the startup community in Toronto, check out torontostarts.com. If you're looking to do business automation, and you're figuring out where AI fits in your business, head over to flowgrammer.ca. That's where we do AI and no-code automations with NAN and other tools. And we have meetups and events to educate and promote these types of technologies that people should be using. So check that all out. And people should find you on LinkedIn, John, for non-dilutive funding, like you mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, find me on LinkedIn. That's the best way. I think I have a link that you can book an appointment directly through my LinkedIn. I think I have that set up. If it doesn't work, please let me know. But yeah, find me on LinkedIn.
And I know this is inside baseball for the people who are listening, but we're putting out videos as well as the audio files now, and they all go out separate schedules. So we're going to have, like, this will go out much sooner on video than audio. So we'll have to cover whatever when we're talking about what we have going on.
All right.
So check all our websites out. And if you're looking for what's open right now, is FedDev open, John?
No. So there is a FedDev stream that's open right now. Oh, sorry, FedDev. No. So what I found out with FedDev, they should have been open by now, but because of the federal election, they are not. So by the time this comes out, they might be open, but they should have been open May, June, but it's delayed because of the election.
All right. Check out, if you're looking for information on non-dilutive funding for your business, check out John Irwin on LinkedIn.
Thanks, guys.
And thank you, everyone, for listening or watching.